Welcome to this tutorial on best practices for Azure Synapse Link Service. Azure Synapse is a powerful analytics platform that allows you to integrate and analyze data from various sources. A linked service is a critical component of Azure Synapse that enables you to connect to external data sources. To create a linked service, you need to define the connection properties, such as the data source type, authentication method, and connection string. It is essential to choose the correct data source type, as it determines the connection properties and authentication methods available. When creating a linked service, consider the following best practices. First, use a secure authentication method, such as Azure Active Directory or Service Principal, to authenticate with the data source. Avoid using basic authentication, as it is not secure. Next, ensure that the connection string is correct and secure. Use a connection string that includes the minimum required permissions and avoid hardcoding sensitive information, such as passwords or access keys. Another best practice is to use a managed identity to authenticate with the data source. Managed identity eliminates the need to manage credentials and provides a secure way to authenticate with the data source. It is also essential to monitor and manage the linked service. Use Azure Synapse monitoring and logging capabilities to track the performance and errors of the linked service. Regularly review the linked service configuration and update it as needed to ensure that it remains secure and optimized. In addition, consider implementing data encryption and compression to protect and optimize data transfer. Azure Synapse supports various encryption and compression algorithms, and you can choose the one that best fits your needs. To illustrate these best practices, let us consider an example. Suppose you want to create a linked service to connect to an Azure Blob Storage account. You would choose the Azure Blob Storage data source type and select the correct authentication method, such as Azure Active Directory or Managed Identity. You would then enter the connection string, including the storage account name and key, and configure the encryption and compression settings as needed. In conclusion, creating a linked service in Azure Synapse requires careful consideration of several factors, including connection properties, authentication methods, and security. By following the best practices outlined in this tutorial, you can create a secure, efficient, and well-managed linked service that meets your data integration and analysis needs.